Welcome, Lieutenant Colonel Charmaine Kaula, and we are so happy that you have chosen and you're given your precious time to live Life King Size Conference. And who else better than you to who has lived it king size? इस कॉन्फ्रेंस में जुड़ने के लिए आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया लेफ्टिनेंट कर्नल कौला और आपसे बेहतर इस कॉन्फ्रेंस के लिए कोई स्पीकर हो ही नहीं सकता था। कुछ सवाल है, देयर आर फ्यू क्वेश्चंस जो मैं चाहता हूं कि हमारे जितने लोग आज सुनने वाले हैं उनकी जिंदगियों में ये सवाल असर लाए और आपकी जिंदगी से हम कुछ इंस्पिरेशन ले सकें। सो बीइंग बोर्न टू इंडियन पेरेंट्स, हैविंग योर चाइल्डहुड in India and then moving to US and then choosing to join the US Army. You just take us through the journey.
Okay, so it was in high school. One of my friends told me about how she had been through basic training between 11th and 12th grade. So we were in 12th grade together, and she told me about how much fun it was for her. So I decided to join. I thought, I could lose some weight. I'll learn how to fire a few weapons. And I decided to join in the 12th grade.
तो मैं जब 12वीं कक्षा में थी और मैं 17 साल की थी और मेरी एक जो फ्रेंड थी उसने मुझे बताया कि कैसे उसने ज्वाइन किया है और उसको बड़ा अच्छा लगता था। तो मैंने सोचा ठीक है, मैं भी ज्वाइन करती हूँ, शायद मेरा थोड़ा सा वजन कम हो जाएगा और मैं एक दो यहाँ वो क्या बोलते वेपन्स या बंदूक चलाना सीख लूंगी। तो इसको ऐसे करके मैंने शुरुआत करी।
And you said you were 17 years, so who signed up for you?
So I was 17, I wasn't 18 yet, so my mother had to co-sign my paperwork to allow me to join. So she said, go ahead, do what you need to, but the plan was to go through basic training and then come back and finish college. And then one weekend a month, I would go to Army training. So I'd only joined for 2 years and that was it.
तो क्योंकि मैं 17 साल की थी, मेरी मम्मी ने मेरे साथ आके साइन करा और ऐसा प्लान था कि क्योंकि मैं पढ़ाई कर रही थी, मैंने सोचा कि ये ऐसा था कि महीने में एक क्या बोलते हैं हफ्ता वीकेंड जाना पड़ता था और वहां पे ट्रेनिंग के लिए जाना पड़ता था। तो मेरा ऐसा प्लान था कि सिर्फ कुछ ही देर के लिए मैं ज्वाइन करके छोड़ दूंगी।
Knowing you, Lieutenant Kaula, from transition from a disco culture to a disciplined culture, disco se discipline tak ka safar, how was it? How difficult was it?
Well, basic training was very difficult for me. Like in my whole 18 years of life, I hadn't been through anything so hard, because I couldn't even do one push-up. You had to get up early every morning. And honestly, we did more before 9 a.m. than most people do in a day.
जो बेसिक ट्रेनिंग था मेरे लिए बड़ा ही मुश्किल था और क्या बोलते हैं मेरे लिए तो एक पुशअप करना भी बड़ा मुश्किल था और क्या बोलते हैं हमें 9 बजे से पहले हम इतना सारा कुछ कर लेते थे कि लोग अपने पूरे दिन में नहीं करते थे जितना हम 9 बजे से पहले कर लेते थे।
So I wasn't used to that hard, getting up and doing things fast and, just all the training we had to do. So it was difficult for me, but you have to, once you start something, to me, it was a failure if I hadn't finished basic training because I had started something. So I had to finish those 2 months and I had to pass everything. So you just, lots of prayers and you just keep going. And I made it somehow.
तो मेरे लिए ये बड़ा मुश्किल था, मगर मैं ऐसा सोचती थी कि अगर मैंने शुरू करके बीच में छोड़ दिया तो ऐसा हो जाएगा कि जैसे कि मैं फेल हो गई। तो काफी प्रेयर करके बड़ा कुछ मुश्किल से मैंने उसको क्लियर किया।
And obviously, जैसा कि आपने बताया कि बीच में छोड़ देना, did you ever get this thought that I'll not be able to complete it?
No, I never allowed that thought, like I can't do this. I was like, I have to do this. I have to finish. I started it. I have to finish this training. So, I finished it.
तो मैंने ये सोच को आने नहीं दिया. मैंने सोचा मैंने ये शुरू किया है और मुझे ये खत्म करना ही है. तो मैंने वो खत्म किया.
Yes, indeed, positive thinking and optimistic outlook does work, specifically in your line of work when you cannot allow negative thought processes to move into your life. जो सकारात्मक सोच है उसको अपने जीवन में, जैसा कि आपने बताया, बरकरार रखना बहुत ही जरूरी है. मगर जैसा कि आप बता रहे थे कि आप खाली 2 साल के लिए आर्मी ज्वाइन करना चाह रहे थे और अचानक से फिर ये फुल करियर कैसे हो गया? As you said that you wanted to join only for 2 years as a reserve, then how did this decision change to become a full-time army personnel?
I think life just leads you in a certain direction. So I started college and suddenly I saw I wasn't an officer. I was an enlisted person. I was a private at 18. So when I started college, I saw a sign there saying Reserve Officer Training Corps, ROTC. So you could join ROTC and become an officer. So I just moseyed on in and I said, oh, I want to be an officer. And, and I signed up with ROTC. And while I was at college, another training session began. You have like classes and in 2 years, I was an officer.
Wow.
तो जब मैंने ज्वाइन किया था तो तब हम ऑफिसर नहीं होते हैं, हम एनलिस्टेड होते हैं या प्राइवेट होते हैं. और तो मैंने मगर जाकर वहां पर देखा मैंने एक बोर्ड या देखा वहां पे लिखा हुआ था ROTC. तो अगर आपको ऑफिसर बनना है तो आपको ये ट्रेनिंग ज्वाइन करनी है. तो मैंने सोचा ठीक है, मैं ये ट्रेनिंग ज्वाइन कर लेती हूँ और इसलिए फिर मैंने ये ट्रेनिंग ज्वाइन करा.
And I just wanted to, because we know you personally also, so the Charmaine Kaula we know used to live out of a red Honda City, and now that we look at you is like prim proper officer, all set to go. How difficult was this transition? How difficult was this discipline to bring into your life, and what all sacrifices you had to do?
Well, to become an officer, I was going to college and I just had to take these extra classes and go to extra training during the summers and, make my life such where I was working out and I was studying and doing everything I needed to become an officer and check all the blocks.
तो एक ऑफिसर होने के लिए मुझे अपना लाइफ थोड़ा सा बदलना पड़ा. थोड़ा मेरे को जैसे जो क्या बोलते हैं फिजिकल ट्रेनिंग करनी थी, जो पढ़ाई करनी थी, सारा कुछ मिलके मैं ये सारा कुछ कर रही थी. तो इस तरीके से मैंने अपना थोड़ा सा ये जो जीवन है उसको बदला है.
Your family, as a family, you were going through a lot of struggles, and you could have settled in for an easier lifestyle. You could have settled in to a desk job or something like that, because America is a land of opportunity. Then why did you choose such a hard career?
I don't know. It just seemed to be that I was pushed in that direction just by, something internal made me go in that direction. I didn't really see it as hard or easy. Maybe I did see it as a little hard, but then why wouldn't you want to challenge yourself? In your 20s and 30s, that's what makes life, you have a purpose. And so I just felt like that was where I had to go. And so I did.
मैंने इन चीजों को आसान या मुश्किल के तौर से नहीं देखा, मगर हाँ मुश्किल तो था मेरे लिए. मगर जब आप अपने 20 साल के हो या 30 से 40 साल के हो, अगर आपने जो मुश्किल है वो चैलेंज नहीं किया तो फिर क्या फायदा हुआ. तो जो अपना जो लिमिट है थोड़ा सा मैंने उसको चैलेंज किया, तो इस वजह से मैंने फिर भी ये किया.
How difficult was to bring in a balance between what was going in the family and your career? How did you balance that out?
Well, some people balance it much better than I do. I mean, I know men and women who have children. They have 3 or 4 children and they're in the army. I know one of my bosses, she has 3 children. She was a pilot first, and now she's an orthopedic surgeon in the army.
Wow.
You know, and she's my age. So I know people who have done so much more than I have. So what I have done doesn't seem as challenging to me. It might seem challenging to maybe a housewife somewhere else, but to me, it depends on who you're comparing yourself with. To me, what I did wasn't that challenging. I mean, I don't think I could balance a career and a family life, but I have seen so many people do that. And I'm in awe of that, you know?
मेरे लिए ये क्या बोलते हैं इतना मुश्किल नहीं था. मैंने ऐसे भी लोग हैं जो मेरे साथ काम करते हैं, जो कि एक ऑर्थोपेडिक सर्जन भी हैं, उनके बच्चे भी हैं और उनके बच्चे भी हैं और वो बच्चों को भी संभालती हैं और काम भी करती हैं. शायद कोई जो सिर्फ घर संभाल रहा हो उनको शायद मुश्किल लगे जो मैं कर रही हूँ, मगर मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जो घर भी संभाल रहे हैं और ये काम भी कर रहे हैं वो और भी ज्यादा मुश्किल है, और मेरे लिए वो एक बड़ी बात है.
और जैसा कि मैं जानता हूं आपको कि आपने 2 टूर्स किए हैं, कोरिया का और अफगान की लड़ाई में भी, जब अमेरिका और अफगानिस्तान की लड़ाई थी उस लड़ाई का भी आप हिस्सा रहे हैं. As a lady, how difficult was being a part of a war, and how did you live up to that challenge?
You know, that part, going to Afghanistan, for me wasn't very hard. I was in my 40s at that time, I think. Yeah, I was in my 40s, and it just felt like it just happened so naturally, that part. Like coming into the military was hard when I was young and I was going through all the training, and in your 20s and 30s, early 30s. But then life just kind of, you know, you get to be in the prime of your life. So going to war wasn't that hard. It was an adventure to me. And it wasn't really war. Like, I didn't see it as war. You know, it was going there to help people. So you can be in the midst of war, but you can still have peace and you can feel like you're helping other people.
मेरे लिए जो ये वॉर में जाना उतना ऐसा कोई अलग या मुश्किल बात नहीं थी. मिलिट्री ज्वाइन करना और उसकी ट्रेनिंग ज्यादा मुश्किल थी, और मेरे लिए वॉर जाना ऐसा नहीं था कि मैं वॉर में जा रही हूँ, मगर मुझे ऐसा था कि मैं वहां जा रही हूँ लोगों की मदद करने के लिए. आप एक युद्ध के समय में भी हो सकते हैं, युद्ध के स्थान में भी हो सकते हैं, मगर आपके दिल के अंदर शांति हो सकती है.
You know, in a war zone like Afghanistan, जो अफगानिस्तान की जो लड़ाई थी, you are all surrounded by men with guns and all kind of thing. एक lady, as a lady, एक स्त्री होने के नाते, how difficult was for you to maneuver? वहां पे काम करना कितना मुश्किल था?
Oh, to work within my base, I didn't find it difficult. I went to work every day. I took care of soldiers every day. You know, I carried a weapon every day. I never put any bullets in my gun, because I figured if someone came so close to a doctor to where I had to shoot them, then we were in trouble. So it wasn't like I didn't find Afghanistan difficult. I really didn't. There were times when I was afraid, you know, because we got bombed every day, and I remember diving under a bed, but it was like something else inside you leads you to do that stuff. You don't feel, you're just doing. It's like something else is moving you. I don't know how to explain it, but you feel no fear. Like you can see that it's a fearful situation around you. We got bombed every day. I mean, you've read my blog, but I never felt fearful inside.
Tell me about that
for some reason.
shrapnel attack. The soldier who got 32 shrapnels in his body, and how you fixed him up.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was now. You probably read the blog. You can tell the story from the blog. You got that story.
I just want to know what was your first reaction when the bomb hit the camp, inside the camp.
Oh gosh, you probably need to read my blog because it was fresh in my mind when when all that happened. So you can just read the blog and just tell people from there, because I don't even know if I remember everything. I just remember, I remember thoughts going through my head as we were working on him, thinking, oh my God, so what happened? It didn't detonate, so it must be around here somewhere, because this building is gone. But, so you think things, but you just have to just do what you have to do. Yeah, I forgot about that scary experience, but you read my blog and you'll probably know how I felt.
मेरे लिए क्या बोलते हैं क्या बोलते हैं युद्ध में जाना उतना मुश्किल नहीं था, मगर हाँ, ये सब जो हुआ आपने शायद मेरे ब्लॉग में देखा होगा, और क्या ऐसा था कि ये जो जब बॉम्ब मैंने देखा कि ये बॉम्ब तो फटा नहीं, बिल्डिंग उड़ गई है, तो ये बॉम्ब आसपास कहीं पे होना चाहिए। और जब मैं उस आदमी को देख रही थी, बड़े सारे सोच दिमाग में जाते हैं, मगर दिमाग हमारा इस पे नहीं हो पाता कि कि इमोशंस में नहीं हम जा सकते, मगर हमारे दिमाग में बस यही चलना होता है कि हमारा अगला काम क्या है, अगला कार्य क्या है। और तो मेरा बस दिमाग इन्हीं चीजों पे चल रहा था कि मुझे अब क्या करना है, तो ऐसा था।
And one last question, what do you like to say to our youngsters who are who are just trying to begin their career? So one some piece of advice, अगर कुछ advice आप हमारे youngsters को देना चाहते हैं जो अपने जीवन की शुरुआत में है, अपने लिए करियर चुन रहे हैं, तो क्या होगा वो golden piece of advice?
I think you have to put action with your dreams. If you want something good or you have a goal, then you can't just wish for it. You have to do something. You have to either study or work or do something to follow those goals.
मैं ऐसा बोलना चाहूंगी कि अगर आपके दिल में कोई सपना है, तो आप सपने को लेके सिर्फ तमन्नाएं या सोच में नहीं रह सकते हैं। आपको उन सपनों के लिए काम भी करना है, पढ़ाई भी करना है, उन चीजों को हासिल करने के लिए काम भी करना है, जो हमारे वर्ड्स हैं, जो हम बोलते हैं, उसके पीछे काम भी डालना है।
And thank you so much for your precious time. I know you are busy, but you still took out time. आप बहुत busy हैं और उसके अंदर से भी आपने हमारे लिए समय दिया, and we love you so much. Thank you so much for investing into our lives. We love you, and from Well Diggers, I can just only say a big thank you.
बहुत शुक्रिया, नमस्ते।